I got really lucky that I crossed paths with Zach Brown from the Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
After I had been playing bars for about 5 or 6 years and kind of just scraping my teeth.
Yeah.
With $150 a night and free beer.
Yep.
Trying to figure out how to get to the next place, but I kind of didn't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
I was living in this small town about 45 minutes outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I had played like every honky-tonk and bar I knew of 10 times over, and I kind of didn't really know what to do from there. And then Zach Brown saw me playing in a bar, and he really kind of was that catalyst that helped propel me into the next place, because his career was just taking off.
Yeah.
And he found a lot of value in my songwriting and asked if I wanted to go on the road with him and start writing songs with him.
You're like, hell yeah, baby.
And man, I'll tell you what, man, talking about the mental game, about a month before that encounter with him where my entire life changed, I was playing a Mexican restaurant about 15 minutes from where I lived. It was raining that day. So the owner of the Mexican restaurant said, hey, man, you can't play on the patio today where everybody's going to be. So can you play in the little entrance when you first walk in, like before, when you walk in the doors and there's like the newspapers and everything, and then you open up some more doors to go into the actual restaurant?
Yeah.
That's where he set me up.
Yeah, how are you supposed to play?
Man, people were walking in to just get some quesadillas, and there I am, like, right at the front door singing Sweet Home Alabama or something, I'm playing cover songs, know. And, man, I had been doing this for, like I said, like maybe 5 or 6 years at this point, giving it everything I had, and I had made it all the way to Mexican restaurant for you.
That's when you made it. Drake started from the bottom, now we're here, baby.
and this like 10-year-old kid walks up to me, and he's watching, and it was like this little like silver lining of like, at least he's digging it, So I lean down, I'm like, hey man, what do you want to hear? And he goes, oh no, I just want some gum. And I realized I was sitting in front of a gumball machine.
Oh no.
And man, that was about the lowest point of like my musical career. I got beat out by gum,
Yeah.
And I on the way home that night, I really was asking myself the very serious question of if I should really be doing this as a career, if I should be really going for this, or if maybe this should just be relegated to being a hobby at home,
right?
But something in me just could not let it go. And I think it's because it's an obsession, and that's why I think it can be so good if you can figure out what you're obsessed with, what kind of just you can't let go. It keeps you up at night.
Yep.
I just couldn't let it go. And so I told myself, I'm going to give myself another 3 months. And let's just see where we're at in 3 months. And, a month later, that encounter with Zach, my whole life changed. I mean, and now we're talking 7 number ones later, and I got this career now as I've been able to transfer it from being an artist. I mean, from a songwriter into an artist now.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful for that kid that was in that Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
For not giving up. And now in my recording studio, I got this gumball machine right next to my desk.
That's amazing.
That I look at.
That's awesome.
That I think about sometimes, and it just reminds me to like never give up. Just never give up with anything. So, to this day, I'm hyper focused on betterment in every area of my life, being a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better musician, a better boss, just better.
Well, you get to a certain point where you're grinding things out and you have to decide, is this going to be my career, or is it time to give this shit up and go work something else? And it's really hard when you're in that point. I mean, we're not in the same profession, but I was doing, sports reporting, getting to cover some huge games from the Super Bowl, NCAA titles, do it all. And it got to a point where like, this isn't what I'm feeling anymore. So you take a leap of faith, do something you love. I started this show. And it's a grind, and you got to just keep hoping for breaks and people to say yes, or, you reach out to come on a day in advance, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. But those moments stick out, and you remember when people gave you chances or things that motivate you. You mentioned that being the lowest point of your music career. when you a month later meet Zach and he asked you to go on the road and start writing with you, like, did that even seem real when that happened?
No, man, I was in a dream world. I was a kid in a candy store, man.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that experience. I dropped out of college after 1 year because I was so obsessed with music, you know. And here was this opportunity to get this education, this different kind of education, with this phenomenal artist who's now become really legendary in the country music genre.
Yep.
And I spent 12 years on the road with the Zach Brown Band, writing songs with them. And so I kind of like to think of it as like I got my PhD in Zach Brown Band.
I love that.
But Zach really, and the guys, you know, they really did. They helped show me the difference between a good song and a great one.
Yeah.
That level of excellence that you should aspire to with what you do in life. You know, there's so many valuable lessons that I gained.
Yeah.
That now embarking as an artist with my own path and my own message, which really is positivity.
Yeah.
It's this almost Marley-esque one love. We're all in this together. That positive thinking can really have a real impact in your reality. And that music is this really amazing tool that I think sometimes can maybe not be thought of as a tool for mental health, for positive mental health. Because I think sometimes we relegate music a little bit to just being that thing that we do in the background of our lives. But I'm a really big believer that there are a lot of different ways that music actually has a really major impact on our mental health.
I couldn't agree more. I'm not a musician myself, but when it comes to like healthy coping mechanisms, just me driving around listening to music, that helps me. And like unhealthy things. I've been sober now. It was 7 months this week. And so it's like you make those decisions and you have to find things that you're passionate about that can help you when you're, dealing with the anxiety, dealing with the depression. Yeah. Music for me definitely is. I love listening to it. And for someone that lives it, I have to imagine after years of, can we say when you're playing in bars, you're getting paid and you're getting some free beer and you're getting some good opportunities to be in front of people, but you are struggling to a certain extent.
Oh man, it was a struggle, man.
Yeah, I tried to butter that one up for you.
Yeah, but I was living in my best friend's basement. Me and my now wife, we were living in my best friend's basement for $250 a month.
Wow.
We were scraping by, man. Once Uncle Sam got his piece, and you pay for your rent and your utilities and your phone and your food and everything, man. It was really tough, But those are some of my most beautiful memories, man, of life, was in that struggle with my wife together, her reinforcing the dream back to me, that I wasn't crazy, that there was real potential here, that I could be something in this, and to not give up.